good. The Mountain Dew water.
Y'all, that Tang, I could drink just by itself because it's that good.
It wasn't because of the creator's fault. I absolutely love her channel. It was just the subject. It's not water.
FlynnsArcade.
Hi, this is FlynnsArcade, and this is 50 Shades of Stanley Cups. What is a Stanley Cup? This isn't one, but it's that type of thing. They're just reusable cups for people to drink plenty of water. There's a massive trend for them at the moment. Some of them being incredibly expensive, like going for $400. And also there's some that are incredibly rare. So fans of the brand will go up to quite extreme lengths in order to acquire their favourite type of Stanley Cup. So today I'm going to do a bit of a deep dive into it, find out what all the fuss is about and whether the whole thing is a terrible idea. I first became aware of Stanley Cups when a friend of mine started sharing all these memes about them, and I thought, what are they? Like, what is this thing? And she was also quite angry about it, saying, I can't understand it. So I thought I'll look into it, and if it's sufficiently interesting or funny, I'll make a YouTube video about it. When I first learned about Stanley Cups, and this is only a week or so ago, they brought back some pretty horrible memories when I first saw them, because they reminded me of a video by a very, particular favourite YouTuber of mine called My Thoughts Will Probably Offend You, that she'd made about water talk, which was a trend last year, about people putting these aspartame filled, syrups into drinks and calling them water. And it angered me so much that I had to switch off the video.
Now, before we get into all the controversy, the drama, and there's a lot of it, criticism, and news coverage of water talk, let's understand exactly what it is, the origin with what it started with, the creator, the mastermind behind the Skittle water, Tanya. Tanya, also known on TikTok as Take My Life Back at 42, is a sweet-sounding southern voice TikToker with almost 1 million followers, lost over 220 pounds. We must give her the honorary virtual applause. Woo! And pretty much the CEO of Water Talk.
Let's get our water going today, you guys. All right, you guys, we are starting the week out with a brand new water. All right, you guys, we got a brand new water.
Tanya posts many different low-calorie, very quick recipes to help her followers that want to lose weight, but also enjoy life while doing it, pretty much showing them that they don't have to eat like how I used to eat, dry chicken and broccoli and then cry yourself to sleep at night.
All right, you guys know what day it is, Meal Prep Monday. So I'm gonna show you my lunches and dinners for the next 3 days. This might be my new favorite way to make protein pudding, y'all. It's so easy and it is so yummy. Guys, here is my low-carb sushi bowl.
Tanya has a lot of free meals that can give many watchers ideas, and many applaud that, but what they don't applaud is the water that's drenched in sugar. Tanya has a plethora of water recipes, such as Mountain Dew.
Good morning, you guys. All right, I'm making the same water I made yesterday. It is that good, the Mountain Dew water.
Y'all, that Tang, I could drink just by itself because it's that good.
It wasn't because of the creator's fault. I absolutely love her channel. It was just the subject. It's not water. I saw him, it reminded me of, there was a famous sketch from the show Only Fools and Horses where Trigger talks about his broom, and we'll have a look at that now.
This old broom has had 17 new heads and 14 new handles in its time.
How the hell can it be the same bloody broom?
Well, here's a picture of it. What more proof do you need?
And this is what made me so angry, and I was so frustrated to be reminded of this, because it really did drive me nuts when I first heard about water talk. It was, I went around and thinking about it for quite a long time. I mean, it's a big problem with me, but it just, because of the Triggers broom thing, it just really made me quite annoyed. And also learning about Tanya and how she'd gone on this really inspirational, life-changing journey that everyone really respected. Naturally, I got, quite cross with the idea of this, being promoted as a healthy lifestyle choice. I am a big fan of these types of drinks. I love Mountain Dew and Diet Coke. I mean, I can see the appeal of them. But I had quite a bad memory because in lockdown, I was like, whatever gets you through the night, basically. And I started drinking a lot of Diet Coke because I love Diet Coke. And then after lockdown finished, like my first like dentist appointment, the dentist was like low-key horrified when she saw me, and she said, you know, you really damaged your tooth enamel. And, you know, and she prescribed me some like really powerful toothpaste to build it all back up. So seeing people being like drinking like Mountain Dew flavoured water in a really blasé way, obviously, you know, I'm not pleased with it. It's not behaviour that I particularly appreciate. And I certainly don't appreciate the idea of somebody like Tonya, who is, you know, such you know, an aspirational, well-respected person, promoting this without at least saying, look, this can damage your teeth. I'm quite fortunate, I think, in that I actually drink a lot of water. I'm used to it because when I was a teenager, it was actually incredibly aspirational to go around with a bottle of Evian, like when on your way to class and things like that. And so I've got a taste for it, and it's quite normal for me to drink water all the time. And this is not to say that that people in my friendship group were really healthy people. We weren't. We all smoked, and so, you know, it's not always just because somebody drinks a lot of water, it doesn't mean that they're health conscious. It could mean that they're just incredibly like fashion conscious and they want to show off. However, at a certain point in, you know, I think maybe 10 years ago, maybe a bit longer ago than that, there was a move away from drinking Evian and, you know, drinks in plastic bottles because people who are more environmentally conscious decided it was a poor idea to be drinking from plastic bottles. And so there became a trend for people to start using reusable water bottles if they were big water fans. And so that's what I think is the genesis of Stanley Cups. However, it becomes quite strange when you really start to learn and think about this current trend. The natural progression of people using reusable water bottles is that, you know, they'll end up with a trend, and this is what's happened. It is that, you know, there's been several developments over the years of different types of reusable bottles, and it's culminated in like the phenomenon that is Stanley Cups. In the past couple of weeks, I've seen some pretty strange things. One of them is people like legging it through supermarkets to go and get the latest Stanley Cups, or when there's been an offer on them or something. It's getting into like, you know, it is a literal craze at this point. It's a pop culture phenomenon and it's a craze. And so I've wanted to go and learn more about it and figure out whether I think it's a good idea or not. Now we're going to look at a creator called Chad, who's produced a really good explanation as to what Stanley Cups are and what the problem I've got with them exactly is.
There are people who collect Stanley Cups like Pokemon cards. I've talked a little about skincare on TikTok and how people will have ridiculous amounts of skincare products that no one person would ever need. Some people do the same thing with Stanley Cups. They'll have cabinets dedicated to Stanley Cups or walls with shelves crammed full of them in every possible color to go with their different outfits. There are at least 32 cups in this picture. One person does not need that many cups. I've heard 2 girls only need 1 cup.
Last week, I read an article in Dazed and about the trends for Stanley Cups being oddly satisfying. And I thought, I don't agree with that. So I thought, well, let's have a look into it. And then I saw it and I thought, actually, there's a legit point there, because when I was looking for things to use as a thumbnail in this video, I was just looking for pictures of Stanley Cups. And I saw, you know, seeing people's collections with all the different colours in them. There is something really like, I can understand why people might want to collect them so much. One thing that I learned is some people like the kick of having them in different colours so they can match them with whatever outfit they're wearing that day. And so, yeah, I can see the appeal of that. That does look quite satisfying. And also, some people have quite impressive display cases that they use to display the collection. All of this I can completely understand. I can also see the, albeit quite a twisted appeal of the water top trend, because, like, speaking of somebody who, you know, could actually damage my own teeth due to drinking so much Diet Coke in lockdown, I know that I'd love those drinks if I tried them. I've seen quite a few YouTubers going off and trying to recreate these drinks, and I thought about doing it myself, and then I thought, I don't want to. I've got enough unhealthy like behaviours that I do, so I'm not going to add to them by doing this. And as I say, that you know, I really can't deal with the idea that people are promoting this as a healthy trend. It's really not. I can also see the twisted appeal of the motivation behind the crews of people who've gone legging it through supermarkets to get hold of these cups. I remember, I hate going to Oxford Street. I just hate clothes shopping, and it's just not for me. And I remember I worked with a very fashion conscious woman, and she was telling me about how she was really excited about going to the Boxing Day sales in Oxford Street. And I said, that sounds absolutely awful. And she said, oh no, it's brilliant. It was like, and then she described her experiences of doing it. And actually, when she said about it, I thought I might even go with her next year, because it's just something so satisfying about planning to do something like that. Getting involved with all the hype around it. Also, there's something very competitive about it. If you're running through a supermarket to get hold of this cup, and I think one of the pieces of footage I saw, it was actually they started this sale at midnight, and so it was, there's something quite strange about it. But also, I remember as Gore Vidal said, it's not enough to succeed, others must fail. I saw a few people like falling over and stuff in the rampage to get these cups. So it must, to think, oh wow, I got there and I achieved this and I got this treasured item. Yeah, I could completely see why people might enjoy it. I also found quite a good subculture on Instagram of people who customise Stanley Cups. Like, they'll get them and they'll put diamante, like Swarovski, like crystals onto them. And some of them look really nice. And I saw one creator, she had like 80,000 followers on Instagram making these cups. And I just thought, she must have a great time making them. It looks like quite a relaxing and nice hobby. And I can also see why people might want to buy them as well, because, and sort of the creativity of it, I actually find that incredibly endearing. So that aspect of it, I'm all over that like a rash. And actually, even though I thought about whether I'd get a Stanley Cup as part of making this video, I don't really want to, but I would want to get one of her cups because I just think they're cool. And also I like pink and shiny things. So to sum up, I think the water tuck trend and the Stanley Cups trend are pretty absurd. Based on what I've said, is it's not really water that you're drinking. It's and also what started as a sustainability trend has now become a massive consumerist trend with people like stockpiling Stanley Cups. It is quite strange. However, just to come back to my thoughts will only offend you. She's one of my favourite creators on YouTube. Like, I obviously hold her in very high regard because I think her videos are they're very entertaining and I laugh out loud funny, but I've actually learned quite a lot from watching them. Last week I binge watched quite a lot of her content just, in preparation for making this video. And she said, like, I love doing yoga, I do it all the time. And then I heard Michelle say, oh, she just doesn't like yoga, she finds it boring, and and it's like, and I was like, just as somebody I look up to is like just badmouth my hobby. But then it's like, well, I'm sure I can understand why Michelle doesn't enjoy it, and that's fine. And it's understandable why I enjoy it, and that's fine too. We don't all have to like the same things. And also, if we try and think about why people might like stuff that we think is strange, is maybe it might make the world a bit better. And as I mentioned earlier, like me and my friends when I was a teenager, we used to smoke. And so that's surely like, compared to that, I think that, collecting Stanley Cups and drinking aspartame flavoured water really doesn't seem that bad. Just be careful about what it does to your teeth. And also be careful about getting injured if you decide to run through a supermarket. And also, unless you're really loaded, don't spend like $400 on one of these things because you really will regret it. Okay, thanks for watching. Welcome back to all my subscribers. You guys are awesome. Please, like, if you can, could you follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Because it'd be quite nice if people got in touch with me with ideas for videos and things like that. And I'll see you in the next video.